Hello, everyone. My name is KJ, and I am the host of Great Talk and Entertainment official channel only on YouTube. And today's video is my non-spoiler review for season 2 of Star Wars Andor, which is all 12 episodes are now available on the Disney Plus, and of course, season 1 as well. So you may have heard about this show, you see it trending, and you're not sure about it. Well, let me be the one to convince you to definitely check this out because this is a series that leads into the 2016 film by Star Wars, Rogue One. So it's a show that I think it's worth watching, and I think you, the people, would definitely enjoy this. And again, if you're not sure, I'm going to try to be the one. So sit back, relax. Let me try to convince you in a non-spoiler review. So I won't ruin nothing for you. I don't want to ruin the plots. I don't want to talk about surprise cameos. I don't want to talk about certain background on particular characters. So don't worry. I'm not going to spoil none of that, but I'm going to do my best in a non-spoiler way to convince you to check out Andor, whether you need to watch season 1 or just see season 2. So sit back and relax. Now let's get into it. Star Wars Season 2 concludes the sharpening of its focus of the little guys, giving nearly everybody but the title. The characters are satisfying send off, and it makes it such a clear way as they beat the challenges of what a prequel may be challenged in these hurdles. And I feel like this show, season 2 and season 1, of course, have really, really, really just surpassed those challenges, proved a lot of people wrong about a prequel. And I just feel like it just gave it its best. And it was definitely like a love letter to the Star Wars series that has been around since almost forever at this point, and it really, really highlights that the most. And the last one leaving on the episode, it left a big bulk of it, but it gave you all the Star Wars memories. It reminded you, had a lot of Easter eggs, foreshadowing certain things that has happened in the Star Wars cinematic universe, and it just does a fantastic job. And what a way to send off these characters. And they also left it open for a possible season 3. Maybe there's more to this story before we get to Star Wars Rogue One, the movie. So it left it so well, but again, if it didn't, it had a really good ending, and it gave these characters some type of closure. And it also, again, it ties in so well into that movie, and it just so well. So it's definitely worth watching. Now let's talk about I'm going to talk about the things that I didn't like about this first. So the one thing I didn't like about it that you guys may not like is sometimes the dialogue is very dry. Now what I mean by dry is sometimes in certain episodes the conversations is just going too long, and it's hard to keep up, and there's times that you may lose focus depending how you watch this, because if you watch the way they did it, they dropped 3 episodes a week all the way to episode 12, of course. And if you watch all 3 episodes, like episode 1, 2 to 3, and then 4, 5, 6, etc., etc., it can feel dry. The dialogue can feel long, and you kind of sometimes forget about some of the characters because some of these characters that you've seen or you may recognize from the film or just even in season 1 of Andor, that you forget about them because they don't use them a lot or you don't see them a lot on screen. And sometimes that was one of the struggles that I noticed is those two things. But again, this is like a I would say Andor is like a soap opera in the Star Wars universe. It was very dramatic, a lot of drama, and it was about plot twists, who did what, who's the spy, who's the good guy, who's the bad guy, who's the hero, who's the villain. I mean, plot twists, surprises on an ending that just had you leaving on the edge of your seat. Like it had so much of that. So for a way, that's why at times, like I said, the dialogue was just a little bit dry at times because they would really highlight these characters just having these conversations or explaining something or just talking about a plan that they're trying to execute at times. But again, this doesn't have a lot of this does not have like lightsaber battles. This doesn't have the Star Wars things that you may recognize as a Star Wars film or show or whatever. But this to me, besides that, it still delivered. And so those are the only two things I didn't like about it. Now I want to bring up the things that I did like about it. Like I said earlier, the number one thing I loved about this is the drama in this series. I loved it. It showed passion, it showed heartbreaks, it showed somebody in fear, it showed the voices of the voiceless standing up against, the big evil empire politically. And sometimes in this series, and especially in season 1 as well of Andor, is this is art sometimes that's imitating life. And it has a lot of that. It's very poetic. And I think in a strange way, it just fits in the Star Wars universe of its cinematic universe, basically. And it was so good. I loved it. Like, I could not wait. Like, I couldn't wait to see these people argue. I couldn't wait to hear the rah, rah, rah speech. I couldn't wait to see things go down. You know, a lot of these episodes will build something up. And then when you get to the next episode, it was like, oh, wow, it was so worth watching it. Like, oh, I can't believe this happened. Or like, whoa, that's so cool moments. And it had a lot of that. It was so well done with the drama on that part. The whole cast did an excellent job. Like, great performance by these actors and actresses. Like, they showed emotion. They made you believe in these characters. I mean, they really brought their A game on this. Just put really helped make this series so good and so fun to watch. I consider Andor a Star Wars classic as a series on Disney Plus. Like, it was so good like that with the cast. And again, it ties in so well into the movie Rogue One. And I just, man, it made me want more. It made me want more to see more of these characters. Now, obviously, if you've seen Rogue One, you know what happens. But, the way they ended this, again, it's like a bow tie at the end. Well done, well made, well produced. But they kind of left it open where there's a possibility they could do a season 3. Maybe there's more to this story before we get into the film Rogue One. But the way they tie it in, if they don't do a season 3, the ending was so well done and it was awesome. And they had a big surprise, like a shocking moment that I didn't expect. And now I have a lot of questions and I'm coming up with a lot of theories that I would love to share with you guys, especially with all the Star Wars fans out there, about the ending of episode 12 of season 2 of Andor. but it had so much, and I truly enjoyed it, and I loved every bit of it. It's so worth to watch it. Now, let's say you are not really a Star Wars fan. Maybe maybe it's not your cup of tea, but I would bet if somebody who's not a fan of Star Wars and they gave it a chance, I believe they would enjoy Andor season 1 and season 2, of course. I think they would enjoy this and appreciate this more than any other Star Wars movie or series. Like, I think it's that good because again, what a performance by the cast and the graphics, the CGI, the VV VFX effects was done so well, and I just thought, "Wow, this was so good," and again, they introduced these characters that you may never heard of, and, they could be possibly your favorite, and I think that's the most important thing about the whole thing is, they introduce you to new characters, and I think that's the best part of the whole thing, so this series was just amazing, and I'm telling you, like, you for people who may not think they will like this, I think you're gonna like this. I mean, they gave you episodes where you just care. You really care for certain characters, and then they gave you characters to make you not like, you know, because they're the bad guy or the villain or whatever. Like they got it all in this, and it was just done so well. And another thing, I think whoever directed this, I forget who directed this season or episodes, but who if how many directors and producers are in this? I think they told this story so well. Like the main plot of season 2 was so good. It wasn't a simple story because and I have to be honest with everybody. It wasn't like the most simplest plot story. You gotta really know your Star Wars, and you may have to do some research. You may have to do a little bit of digging, but still, the story of it was so good because I am a diehard fan of Star Wars. I love everything about it. So when certain things were talked about, it made me think of, oh wait, I remember that in this movie or that show. Like it had a lot of that, and season 2 really focused a lot and depended on that. But again, I knew it was leading up to because I seen the movie Rogue One. But again, this was such the story of this for season 2 was just good, really good. And I think people at first, if you never watched the Star Wars, right? I can imagine it would take the first 3 episodes for you to truly understand, but by the time you hit episode 4, you get hooked on, especially if you start in season 1, like, episode 4, you'll get hooked. Because I think it just takes time, like, this is, like even season 2, right? Season 1 and season 2 both have a slow pace. It's not really fast. It's not like action adventure. This is more of like spies and they're sneaking around, being secretive, just doing whatever they got to do to get certain information or know things. And it's just one of those. But again, it was just so good. And I think the average person who's never really watched this would truly appreciate this series Andor. So it's to me, it's this is a banger on banger. If I had to give season 2 a 1 out of 10, I'd give it an 8. It was really great, and if you binge watch season 1, season 2, it's such a perfect story, and then go watch Rogue One, like, mwah, really good, and it fits so well. That's a timeline order thing too, and it's just so amazing, and not because 'cause I'm a Marvel fan as well, but it's just so good, and I think it's worth watching it, I really do. And, there's a lot of big not real, yeah, big name actors and actresses in this show. And I mean, that's why they're so good at this. And who would imagine some of these casts that they chose would be in a Star Wars film? Like, I think it's so cool that we're getting big names in here, and they just delivered this or season 2 so well, and that's what I loved about it. It was is those things too as well. So it was just good, and honestly, I it's like I said, like I might have said the dialogue was dry, but it's something I can overlook. I can just ignore. But other than that, it's still such a great series, and it was like it was very artistic. You know, gotta really know. It had a lot of deep meanings to it, and again, my favorite part of season 2, and I know season 1 had it too, but it's art imitating life, and that was really cool about it. So again, 1 out of 10, I'm giving this an 8. So I do hope you guys check this out. I hope I convinced you, and if I did, please let me know in the comments below. I would truly appreciate that. But that's my review, y'all. Thank you so much. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Great Talk and Entertainment official channel. Subscribe, hit that notification button so you can always be updated with all my latest content. Thank you guys, and peace out.